By Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
Guam's tourism industry is making a pitch to be a premier wellness destination. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with JVB's new campaign coming up.
The Ada Calvo team rolls out their Homes First plan, a strategy aimed at addressing the island's housing challenges. More coming up tonight.
And 1 year ago today, the unveiling of the Chief Kukua statue was adorned with a sanahi. Now that sanahi has been stolen.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Thanks for ending your day with us. Tourism leaders say access to Guam is under pressure as global fuel prices rise amid the Middle East conflict. And now officials say the response may require a bold shift in how Guam attracts visitors. Mitsuki Hirayama reports.
At a Dusatani Guam resort, tourism leaders laying it out clearly. Access to Guam is under pressure. GVB President and CEO Regine Biscoli pointing to a global fuel shock driving up the cost of travel and cutting into flight options to the island.
In one of our largest markets, seat capacity has dropped by more than 20% in a single month. Nearly 8,000 seats gone. Flights are being reduced. Routes are under pressure. And at the same time, fuel surcharges have jumped from about $50 to nearly $150 per ticket, almost overnight.
Since the Middle East conflict began, she says the cost to get visitors to Guam nearly doubled before they even step foot on a plane.
So a family that could afford this trip last month can't today.
GVB has been rolling out airline incentives, already committing about $2 million, but the president says it could take more than $7 million to fully offset the impact. Her comments come as Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio urges GVB to think outside the box with airline incentives, saying now is the time to be bold.
So the Japanese and the Koreans have been traveling to the Middle East and Europe for quite some time. They're not going to be traveling there anymore. Spend now. Let's advertise and bring people here and fill those rooms. That's something that the governor and I were talking about yesterday with Regine, but I really do think that you need to do it now. The legislature is not going to reward you for saving your money all the way through September 30.
This as GVB is looking at ways to attract a different kind of visitor, introducing a new Welcome to Wellness campaign. It was announced during the meeting as part of a broader push into what Guam already offers and turn it into
the land, the culture, the Hafa spirit, and so as I said, I think we have all the components for it, and now it's going to be an exciting next era, I think, for Guam, and with the focus from GVB as well, to now really position Guam as this, the same as, going to where you would go for a wellness retreat. Guam has that magic too.
Lawmakers also looking at long-term solutions. They recently passed Bill 228, a $250,000 tax incentive package for businesses to beautify Guam's look.
We all know that visitors judge us the moment they arrive.
All this comes as costs continue to rise across the board, with fuel prices surging and putting additional pressure on government resources. And as DFS closes its doors, marking the end of one era, tourism leaders say the industry is now at a turning point.
I have full confidence that we will rise to this challenge with fresh ideas and with a renewed vision for our tourism industry. And I know that our best days are not behind us, but they are being built by us right now.
And what we do now holds the line. So let me be very clear. We are not waiting. We have a plan and we will execute it.
Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
It's the end of an era as Tea Galleria by DFS Guam ends operations in Tumon today after 55 years. The luxury duty-free retailer has been a key landmark in the heart of the island's tourism district, attracting travelers from across the world. DFS Guam announced their exit last December, beginning to slowly shut down operations and clear out shelves. Over 100 employees are impacted, including long-tenured employees who have been there for decades. A farewell wave is being held this evening from 6:30 to 7:15 p.m. across the street of DFS. Doors officially close at 7 p.m. A symbol of heritage now missing. The Department of Parks and Recreation says the sinahi from the Chief Kapua statue in Hagatnya has been stolen sometime Monday. The statue located at Paseo Loop was unveiled just 1 year ago, marking a tribute to one of Guam's most influential leaders. The sinahi, a sacred Chamorro emblem, was crafted by local artist Greg Pangilinan and placed around Chief Kapua's neck during the ceremony by Governor Leon Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio. Now that meaningful piece is gone, authorities are asking for the community's help. Now, if you have any information, contact GPD Dispatch at 671-475-8615, 6 or 7, or Park Police at 88. A cultural loss and a call to bring it back. Republican gubernatorial candidates Tony Ada and EJ Calvo are tackling the island's severe housing shortage, promising to break ground on 6,000 new homes by 2030 as part of their Homes First plan. Here's more.
Republican candidates for governor and lieutenant governor of Guam, Tony Ada and EJ Calvo, unveiled their Homes First plan during a press conference Tuesday morning at their Hagatnya headquarters. They say the plan is a comprehensive strategy aimed at addressing the island's housing challenges.
In 2019, the median home price of Guam was under $275,000. Today, it is over $450,000. This increase is not accidental. It is driven by real structural problems, including regulatory delays, rising construction costs, infrastructure shortages, limited economies of scale, and growing housing demands tied to federal activity.
Vice Speaker Ada emphasizing that this price surge is the difference between families affording a home and being priced out of the market. He also cited the island's shortage of 6,000 homes, with federal projections anticipating hundreds more required in the coming years. They say the Homes First plan aims to meet this deficit with a clear objective.
Our goal is simple but bold. By 2030, Guam will break ground on 6,000 new homes, ranging from single-family homes to apartments, duplexes, and condominiums. This is about delivering real homes and real results.
To reach this goal, the duo promising a change in government operations. A key component involves bringing together all housing and land agencies to streamline processes and build homes faster and more efficiently. Ada and Calvo also vowing to establish a Home First team within their first 100 days in office, which would work to cut through regulatory delays, set clear timelines for approvals and inspections, and launch a digital permitting system. They also identified another major barrier as undeveloped government-owned lots lacking infrastructure, stating that such land represents another family waiting to build their home. Meantime, addressing construction costs is also central to the plan, as they say high building costs translates into higher buying and renting prices for local families. Lieutenant Governor candidate EJ Calvo says that their team would focus on workforce solutions.
Our team will conduct a thorough analysis of every factor driving construction costs, from labor shortages to supply delays, and take decisive action to implement solutions immediately.
Additional proposals to strengthen the workforce and lower costs include prioritizing local contractors, bolstering local training pipelines, and working with federal partners to expand the H-2B visa program. The candidates also addressed affordability programs and federal coordination.
So in the first 100 days, Tony and I will modernize Guam Housing Corporation's first-time home buyer program by updating income limits, expanding eligibility to middle-income families, and providing flexible, practical support that reflects today's real cost of living.
Furthermore, Ada and Calvo proposed working with GORA to reduce Section 8 waiting lists, expand the use of federal tools for affordable housing, and utilize new construction methods. They also pledged to advocate for more base housing to relieve pressure on the local market and pursue federal funding for infrastructure supporting both military and civilian communities. For more information, visit adacalvo.com.
And before we take a quick break, we introduce our new 4-part series, The Tax Facts, brought to you by the Tax Shelter. With the season upon us, you may have questions, and you're definitely not alone. From above-the-line deductions and breaking down key eligibility requirements, the answers are broken down to help save you time and stress. Stay with us. We've got what you need before you file.
The Tax Facts is brought to you by the Tax Shelter for all your personal and business needs.
Good news for car buyers. Under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, you can potentially deduct up to $10,000 of the interest you pay on a new vehicle loan for tax years 2025 through 2028. This deduction is above the line, which reduces your taxable income whether you choose to itemize your deductions or take the standard deduction. Here's what you need to qualify for the auto loan deduction. 1. You must be buying a new car. This deduction is only for new vehicles, meaning you have to be the first owner. Used and leased vehicles are not covered. 2. The vehicle must be assembled in the USA. 3. The vehicle must have been purchased after December 31, 2024, and your loan must have an origination date after that as well. 4. The vehicle must be for personal use, not business, and the loan must be secured by a lien on the vehicle. 5. Eligible vehicles include cars, SUVs, pickups, vans, or motorcycles under 14,000 pounds. Be aware that the deduction starts to phase out if your modified adjusted gross income, or MAGI, is over $100,000 for single filers or $200,000 for those filing jointly.
The Tax Facts is brought to you by the Tax Shelter for all your personal and business needs.
Spring is here, and it's blooming with savings at Kmart Guam. Step into the season with fresh styles for the whole family. Tackle your spring to-do list with tools for every project. Get everything you need to be spring ready. Find it all this season at Kmart Guam.
Sure, there's places Taco Bell's crispy chicken nuggets haven't been. But now, the inside of a Crunchwrap slider isn't one of them. The new crispy chicken Crunchwrap slider with creamy chipotle or jalapeno honey mustard inside. A brand new classic, only at Taco Bell.
I grew up on Guam. Sports shaped who I am, but representing our island on the national basketball team taught me the importance of community. After 10 years in Hawaii, working at Bank of Hawaii, I came home to give back and to lead. At Bank of Hawaii, we're passionate about helping everyone in our community create a better life for themselves and their families to reach their possible. I'm Mike Sakazaki, and I can't wait to help you reach yours.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Welcome back to Primetime. A routine patrol in Chalampago turned into a drug arrest after a canine unit alerted officers to methamphetamine inside a vehicle. Police say they stopped a black Toyota Corolla Sunday night along Route 4 for speeding and an expired registration. The driver, identified as 50-year-old Victor Erwin Kichicho, was unable to provide a license or vehicle documents and gave officers conflicting reasons for being in a hurry. During the stop, Kichicho reportedly consented to a search, but then urged officers to use a canine instead. That's when drug detection dog Draco was called in and alerted to the presence of narcotics. According to a magistrate's complaint, Kichicho then admitted there were drugs in the car, telling officers he purchased meth with plans to resell it to cover personal expenses. Officers say the drugs were concealed inside a nicotine pouch, and a scale was also recovered. Kichicho is now facing felony drug charges, including possession with intent to deliver. He has since been released on a $10,000 personal recognizance bond. A 19-year-old man is behind bars after a violent domestic incident that left a woman with visible injuries, according to court documents. Elijah Tidingo faces multiple felony charges, including aggravated assault and family violence, following the weekend. Investigators say they're being physically assaulted, suffering bruises and burns, while also accusing Tidingo of a pattern of escalating violence. Police noted injuries consistent with her account when they responded. Authorities recovered a wrench from Tidingo's home, and during questioning, he admitted to some physical acts but disputed other allegations, according to the complaint. One of the charges includes a special allegation involving the use of a deadly weapon. Tidingo is currently being held on $3,000 cash bail.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a view of Talofofo Falls Waterfall.
At GTA, everyone gets our best deals.
So my Niao's Primos Paris is your mom's second cousin's cousin through marriage.
Wow, we're basically like family.
So can I get the deal?
Of course, everyone gets our best deals.
My nana said to tell you she went to church with your auntie.
You look just like my friend's nephew's babysitter.
Small island, right? Everyone gets $400 off when you sign up for a Live Unlimited plan.
Bring it in, cuz.
Even if we're not related.
The new Big Arch sauce is so delicious. You'll wonder if they named the sauce after the burger or the burger after the sauce. The Big Arch, the most McDonald's burger yet. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Okay, and then because of you're one of several Guam teams that actually went out there. Did you? How were the other Guam high school teams that went out there? How were they supporting you guys? And did you guys get a chance to see them on the field or cheer them on?
Yes, we got to see a few of them play. They did really well against the other teams, and I know those teams put it out all they got. So I think that was just cool to watch. They got to watch us. They came to support us for our game today, and we really appreciated that and just having each other's backs.
Very nice. Hey, because 671, we got to stick together, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cadence, this would you consider this maybe like a tune-up for the season? You guys are on spring break right now, but how do you take this momentum and really roll into the regular season and really use this to complete your goals?
I think it's definitely a tune-up, especially because the level of play here was definitely different from what we play and experience in our high school league and G League. So at least we know that we can handle this level and we can take what we learned and all the mistakes, all the lessons that came with getting this trophy, and we can bring it into our season, especially because right when we get back, we have a game in just the next few days.
Okay, yeah. Who is your next game in Interscholastics when you guys get back home?
Guam High.
Okay, Panthers are good.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, Violet, this is interesting because did you guys choose that hotel just because the colors are green and gold?
Maybe not. The hotel is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, JFK color. I mean, or either that, or they completely changed the colors for you guys because they knew the Islanders were coming. Okay, well, tell me about one thing though, because Violet and Camille, you guys can jump on this as you see fit, but this year has been so special for JFK sports, right? You guys won girls tennis, you guys won boys soccer, you guys are the defending champs, you guys just won boys basketball. What about this year is so special for the Islanders athletic program?
It's so special because we all have connections with each other, especially through G League, playing together in G League and for the girls soccer for our school. Like, we built good bonds and connections, and even on and off the field, we're still very close, and we all really care about each other very much.
Okay, and then Camille, you guys know that being the defending champions, like everybody is going to give you guys their best game. They're all looking forward to playing the Islanders. You guys are going to get everybody's best shot. So how do you stay sharp, and how do you guys make sure that that you guys are at the top of your game?
Honestly, I think just us being able to go to practice every day and not make excuses for ourselves, it really helps us towards game day. And I honestly think that's what keeps us going, and it keeps us like more disciplined than the other teams.
Okay. Okay, so congratulations again, you guys. Champs once again, man, and I love that trophy. That is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have any room left in your baggage for when you guys bring that back to Guam?
Of course.
Okay, I think Coach brought an extra one, right, just to carry that.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys travel home safe, please. You know, we're so proud of you guys. And how are you spending the rest of your trip out there in PI?
Like, we're gonna have fun and everything. Be good. This is our chemistry with each other. Yeah. Yes. Team bonding for the next few days. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what are you guys looking most forward to eating out there? Because they got good food out there.
Yeah. Everything. It's Thai and then Korean barbecue. Yeah.
Ooh. What about the local food, man? Hey, if you guys have some sisig left over, bring that back.
And
Hey, Sinagong's good. Hey, I don't know if you guys have heard, but it's been really rainy back here at home and everything. But, you know, we got the sunshine waiting for you when you guys come home.
Oh, yes.
Okay, hey, congratulations again to the Islanders. Won the championship on their week off. JFK is having the best spring break ever.
Yes.
Okay, congratulations to you guys, and get home safe and have a wonderful season.
Thank you.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase. But if it happens, cheap thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying, it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all cheap things. Remembering without saying it. Couldn't be more of a cheap thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Cheap things. Making a cheap vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a cheap thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a cheap thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a cheap thing. So we're bringing you more cheap things this year, because cheap things should be everyone's thing.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
An urgent need and a simple way for the community to step in. This week on Giving Every Tuesday, Harvest House is asking for help providing one of the most basic needs for babies and young families, diapers and baby wipes. For many parents already struggling to make ends meet, these everyday items can quickly become a financial burden. And unlike food or other household necessities, diapers are not usually covered by most assistance programs. That means families in crisis are often left to stretch their resources, making impossible choices between buying diapers, paying bills, or putting food on the table. When that happens, some parents may delay changing their babies or try to make supplies last longer than they should, putting children at risk for rashes, infections, and other health issues. Harvest House says the need continues to grow, with more local families reaching out for help during financial hardship. But this organization does far more than provide supplies. Harvest House services foster children and families on Guam by recruiting caregivers and supporting families as they care for children who have experienced crisis. It also serves an emergency triage center for children entering the foster care system, offering physical needs, emotional support, and spiritual encouragement during some of the most difficult moments in a child's life. So whether it's a pack of diapers or a box of baby wipes or a simple act of kindness, every donation can make a real difference. Kayla Ramirez, Operations Manager, shares this message. Thank you for caring for the needs of our island's children. Harvest House could not function without the support of our community. If you'd like to help, you can call or WhatsApp Harvest House at 489-4737. On Guam, sometimes the smallest donation can bring the biggest relief.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Fresh Food Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas.
Half a day, everyone. It's Janice Carrasco. I am back. Let's see what we got going on for News Bites. On April 4th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., check out the Mad Haters Extravaganza at the Agana Shopping Center. Enjoy bounce house, photo booth, face painting, and balloon art. The Easter egg hunt for ages 0 to 10 years old, 2 p.m. is go time. And kids 11 years old and above, 3 p.m. is go time. Participants must visit the registration booth prior to the egg hunt. Win big prizes and free to enjoy. I guess I can take the kids. You didn't hear that. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and see what else we got going on. Pacific Minds Conference 2026 is a teen mental health conference taking place on Saturday, April 4th at the Guam Legislature from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. with workshops and guest presentations. There's a complimentary lunch and refreshments. To register, scan the QR code. All right, next up, we have the Okaju High School Drama Club presents She Kills Monsters, a Young Adventurers edition. Matinee shows are on April 11th, and 18th, and afternoon shows are April 9th through the 12th and 16th through the 19th. General admission is $10. All right, we're going to go ahead. Coast to Coast Tuesday. NBA action is back, guys, with Coast to Coast Tuesday airing Wednesday on Guam on KUAM TV 8, NBC, and Peacock. Catch the two big matchups. It's going to be the Knicks versus the Rockets at 10 a.m., Trailblazers versus Clippers at 1 p.m. 2 games, 1 day. Don't miss the action. Sounds like a good time, guys. A lot of community things going on and sports. But I want to leave you with the message of the day, something that I want to share in regards to my culture. I'm Hispanic, so I want to leave you with a little bit of my Spanish touch. Ready? The message of the day, it's Mensaje del día. Message of the day. Be the reason to make someone smile and make a difference. I'm Janice Carrasco. Thank you so much for accompanying us at News Bites. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Many blessings. Now to birthdays. It's that time of day. Birthday shout outs. Happy birthday to our dear friend from GVB, Regina Guerrero Medley. Enjoy your special day. And from all of us here at KUAM, we are wishing you many blessings, lots of cake, and health. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And that's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Destiny Cruz Langus. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
Thanks for watching Health, Home, and Lifestyle right here on KUAM. Check us out anytime on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KUAM News, for all of our episodes about how you can live a happy and healthy island life. Hafade Guam, happy Tuesday, and welcome to another episode of Health, Home, and Lifestyle. I'm here at the entrance of Laddie Heights up in Manilao. Good people up here, good times, good property, good healthy way of living. So we're going to show you how to live a healthy and happy island life today. We got a great episode for you. Here's what we have for you this week. Hafa day and welcome to Tuesday, everybody. It is Health, Home, and Lifestyle, and this is House to Home, the segment of the weekly show where we bring you everything that's going on with our island's real estate community and how you can get the very best deal and make smart choices when it comes to really finding that property of your dreams. Liz is here. Gina is working on something right now, but we have a very good friend of ours in the KUM News Zoom room, all the way from Pentagon Federal Credit Union, and Frank Charfus, by the way, loan officer extraordinaire. I did not see you in the family. You guys are about the strongest soccer family I know, and over a Sunday over there at GFA and everything, they turned the lights on, but I miss you guys, man. I always see you guys over there.
Yeah, we unfortunately we weren't able to attend. Yes, we are definitely committed up there. Our both our kids are always playing soccer. So we can't wait to play up there under the lights. It's been long awaited for sure.
Well, both you and the wife are doing amazing things with real estate and everything. And I mean, it really is a family operation, even though, Tanya more on the uh, agent side and the realtor side, but you definitely on the financier side. So your input on today's topic is most appreciated, my friend.
Yeah, great. So yeah, Liz asked me to jump on with this assumption process or transaction type. So
And you know when they say assumptions, you know how that phrase goes, right? But this is a different context about that.
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
so
So
there are different intricacies with VA assumption loans, and I felt that Frank handles a lot of those. And I feel it's important to have a discussion as to the different things associated with VA assumptions. We're working on one right now, and I'm not a VA vet, but I'm definitely going through the process with Frank, and he's knowledgeable with it. And I think it'll help our community since many of our island vets are here. And the interest rates are on the high side right now. And some of the VA loans have lower interest rates, which makes it doable for assumptions. But it's not as easy to get there. So Frank can explain what's associated with VA assumptions.
Excellent. Yeah. And Frank, as long as I've known you, I don't know this. Did you ever serve?
no, I fish.
Okay, there you go.
So just circling back to Liz's scenario, right? So an assumption mortgage transaction is you are taking over a seller's terms on the existing VA loan. All VA loans are assumable. So there is a document you sign at closing that talks about that, and you have to go through the lender's requirements, application process, and so forth to take over a veteran's home loan. You don't have to be an active duty veteran or be VA eligible to assume a VA loan. So as an example, let's say you're the seller, Jason, you have a VA home loan. I'm coming in, your house is listed with Liz, and you have 3% as a rate. So your sales price is 500,000 and your balance is 400,000. That gap is your down payment. A traditional VA purchase, there is zero required as a down payment. So in this scenario, since you're assuming the existing balance, that's spread between what the sales price is on the final purchase agreement minus what they owe is your down payment. And then you still have transactional costs or closing costs. I tell everybody, factor 4% of the sales price. That would be your closing costs. So you have your closing costs, you have that gap or that down payment, and then that's the total picture as to how much you'll need out of pocket. Well, what's really nice about this product is, or this type of way to acquire a property is, one, you don't need an appraisal. Two, it's a manual underwrite. So I'm not pushing your file like a traditional purchase through a computer and it gives me an outcome. It's a manual underwriting process. So we'll look at the ratios. If the ratios fit, your W-2s confirm your income, and these are your credit scores, and these are your obligations. And obviously you have to get home insurance prior to closing. We'll approve the loan. So I really like that aspect of that manual process because I've had a lot of files not go through because of maybe, C- credit scores, if you would.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now just for proper context and everything, when we say VA loans and everything like that, what actually qualifies as a vet? Is that anyone who has served in any branch of U.S. military service for any amount of time? Because I know some people like they'll get in or if they're in the ROTC program, they do 5 years as per their first contract, and then some people are lifers, some people don't re-enlist.
So that's a great question. So to be eligible for a VA home loan or a purchase, if you're just buying a house with your certificate of eligibility, you have to have been active duty for at least 6 months or deployed for 90 days. So as an example, the National Guard guys, if they're deployed for 90 days and it's non-educational type of deployment, you're eligible for a VA home loan. So how I vet that is before I pull your credit report, I'm going to go to our lender portal on the VA platform, and all I need is your social security number and your date, your birthday year, and the system will generate a disposition or an outcome. It's either going to give me the certificate or it's going to ask me for some other documentation. So I do that on every loan before I pull credit, just to make sure you're capable of getting the loan. Active duty, for active members, it usually pops up, but for the National Guard guys, if they haven't had that certificate generated, it's a good practice to see if you're eligible, because sometimes I've got to go another step and ask for other documentation to get that certificate.
And that's really good, because I know and some people have asked Liz and I this over the years, Frank, is they'll say like, okay, did you have to be active duty full time, or could you be reserve? Could you be in the Guard? Could you be like a civilian employee of a military unit, like attached to that unit and everything like that? So they want to say when you are, veteran, what exactly constitutes that. So, we appreciate the context.
Yeah. So
yeah, the other thing I want to point out is that a vet can buy how many homes? One home. And then if they sold it, they can buy another one. But we have cases where they've already bought one home and they'd like to buy a second one. Isn't that subject to their entitlement? I know there's different things that are required.
Yeah, so every state and every county will have a VA loan limit. If you've never had a VA loan, you're not subject to any limit. We as a lender have a limit. So our largest loan we could lend on your first transaction is zero down payment would be $3 million. If you own a property today, and let's use Guam as an example, our loan limit out here is about 1.2 million roughly. So if you bought a house 10 years ago and you paid 600,000, you could buy another house without paying off that other house and come in at zero down at 600,000. So anytime you have an entitlement out there that hasn't been paid off, or a VA home loan that hasn't been paid off, you're going to be subject to the county loan limits and what the entitlement was charged on your certificate. So if I were to get that certificate today, it will show that you acquired a property 10 years ago, and this is what you paid for it, and this is the entitlement charge. So I have a quick calculator that will tell me like what area you can buy into and what the down payment scenario would be. I get those questions every day out here, because you have active duty that own property here. They become landlords, and let's say they're PCSing out to Norfolk, Virginia. And so we go out there, the limits out there are roughly, I think it's about 740,000. So there's a calculation we have to do to factor what their proposed price is at zero down. Anything above that will be a down payment requirement. But you can have more than 2 or 3 loans out there on your certificate still outstanding. It only affects you on your down payment situation if those loans aren't paid off.
So this is not like, obviously this is not like the civilian first-time home buyers program, where like if you're a young couple, you get assistance from the feds to, like get that home of your dreams. This is in recognition of your service. So you can have multiple loans outstanding, as you just said, Frank.
Correct. So it's an entitlement that you have. So it's just because you've used it already. Some people call me up and say, Frank, I've already used it, I can't do a VA loan. You always have that eligibility.
And Liz, we were just talking about this last week, Liz, where we said like there are military people on Guam that they know they're going to be temporary duty here. They may come back, in the future and make this their home. But some people they buy as an investment property, and then when they get their next duty station, they flip it, which is awesome, but there are these conveniences available to them.
But it's great that, Frank, you're saying Guam is 1.what million?
So the limit out here is like 1.2 million. So if you have an existing loan out there, that limit's going to affect your down payment scenario.
Something happens when you put crispy, all-white meat chicken nuggets inside a Crunchwrap slider with your choice of sauce inside. What happens is probably ordering one of each. The new Crispy Chicken Crunchwrap Slider, a brand new classic, only at Taco Bell.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
So the release of liability, there's a release of liability signed at closing. So if you default on the loan, it doesn't hurt his credit report, right? We're going to show that loan being paid off on his credit report. So the release of liability is removed from the seller. His entitlement, if that loan is defaulted, because if it's not, it only zeroes out once the loan's paid off. So if there's a default on the loan, that entitlement will never go away. So it can affect your capacity to buy at zero down in your next location.
So that can follow you in that case.
It affects the calculation on the loan amount. So
Yeah, okay.
I've seen that certificate before where it says foreclosure, and I'm like, oh man, looks like we're not going to be able to do a deal. But all that does is it affects that calculation I have to do for the house you're trying to buy.
Hey, Frank, here's a hypothetical for you, right? We know every so often that, you'll see married couples like in the military. Is it possible, or have married couples tried to say, obviously we are each other's, our financial accounts are conjoined, we're life partners and everything like that. Can they combine those two if they were to apply for a loan, or is it only relative to the individual and their service to the country?
In regards to the entitlement, or
yeah, like if they're married, could they kind of like combine it and say, oh, I get 1.2 million for Guam, now I got 2.4 because it's me and my wife going in at the same time.
Yeah, so it's individually. So if I have two active duty vets buying a house out here, I'm going to use I can use either certificate to tag that house to their certificate.
Okay. How would you typically do that? Is it the one with the least debt, or the higher ranking of the two, or the one with more years of service, or at that point or is it at the discretion of the lending institution?
For me, I kind of control that process, because if you never use your entitlement, the VA funding fee, which is a charge that can be financed, it's like 2.15%. So on a subsequent use, it's 3.3%. So as an example, if you had a loan outstanding, that VA fee is gonna be 3.3. But if your partner or the other person on the application, their certificate was zeroed out, or they're never been a VA loan, that fee is 2.15. So I would just put the entitlement charged on the person with no use yet, or their first time.
Okay.
It saves them like 1.5% as a fee.
So Frank, what is the window of time, since everything is manual? It's a simple process. Well, not a simple process, but appraisal is not required, which is great. What's the window of time to close that transaction?
If the buyer is, because the process is all electronic and online, right? So there's no paperwork on my side. Everything's kind of dropped on that loan application electronically. So I'm not going to ask you for any paperwork. But if they're organized and they know how to do that, you're probably looking like a 30-day process. Title turn time is about 2 weeks. So let's say insurance turn time is about a week. Underwriting about a week. So I'd say about 30 days in and out. Every file is different. Some files, they're self-employed. They've got to give me 2 years of tax returns. But if it's just a traditional W-2 buyer, it's just your W-2s and pay stubs and bank statements. That's it.
Frank, how much more paperwork are the VA loans, like as opposed to like maybe their civilian comparable loans and everything like that, given the fact that, they're federal employees?
It's the same docs on your end that you've got to provide. W-2, pay stubs, two bank statements. So it's the same checklist. There isn't more paperwork. It's just, they might have, VA has more disclosures, if you would, but everything's paperless on our side. You're not touching any paper. So you go to a link, you'll view all the docs, electronically sign it, comes back to me saying you've signed it with an intent to proceed. And that's when we do our stuff, a lock or rate. the appraisal out or the title out. So on our side of things, it's very paperless. You know, we get frowned on when I have paper on my desk, you know. So we try
So
to.
it's perfect. It's perfect even if you have an off-island buyer or someone who's traveling. It makes it simple because everything's online.
It's too easy to do a home loan nowadays.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah,
No.
sounds good.
Okay, and
Well,
seeing as how you're a Pentagon Federal Credit Union, Frank, like, and you know, you guys have branches all over. Do you see locally, is the volume of traffic you're getting from, like, say, local kids who then enlist, and then are serving, or is it, you know, servicemen and women coming from other parts of the world and they know this is going to be like their duty station, and like who do you see that transactions that you process more?
I'd say it's about a 50-50 mix
Okay.
between, you know, the National Guard out here or the reserves and active duty.
Yeah, Liz, how many of these like showings, or how many clients actually walk in to your office and say, you know, like, I'm a vet, I've got an X number of years of service, and you know, my family's like looking for a house, either because, you know, we want to make this place our permanent residence, or, you know, we see it as a very lucrative investment opportunity, or, you know, like, we're just shopping around.
Actually, over the years, we've seen an increase in VA buyers because they're relocating here and they've got their housing allowance, and they might as well turn that into equity by the time they leave their duty station. And so I think over the number of years, we've seen much more in terms of VA buyers, with our office at least. And now it's like the assumable loan types are what we're starting to experience. People are looking for assumable loans with low interest rates, because some people's loans were like 2 and 3 at one time, right? Right, Frank? And I think the one that we have now, the one I'm working on, at least it's a 5.3, still lower probably in comparison to some of the other loan types that are out there. So I like the fact that no appraisal is required for the assumable. I like the fact that it's a shorter time frame. And for Frank, paperless. That's great. And it sounds like it's less of a headache in terms of the loan process, which we appreciate. Anyway, whenever we get this type thing, we dump it on the loan officer. They do their magic to make things happen. And we truly appreciate the loan officers who handle. And we always talk about the loan officers stay in their lane doing loan processing. The realtor stays in their lane doing the real estate aspect of the business. And then the escrow does their job, and we all work together to make it happen.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions, Frank, with these types of VA loans, like that you see? Because I know I just did a story like with some really leading island youth here who are organizing a mental health conference. I mean, I know it's not exactly apples to apples, but they said the message we want to get across is it's not that Guam has a shortage of mental health resources. We just want to make sure that our peers are aware of how many resources they have so that they can use them. What are some of the maybe the things that maybe vets don't know about, or, you know, like affordances to them that they don't take advantage of?
Yeah, I think the ones that pop up a lot is that they've used their VA benefit to acquire a property already, and so they think that they can't use it anymore, or they bought a house when they were active duty, now they're out of service and they can't use it after that. Debt ratios, you know, we have one ratio. I don't really tell everybody this, but our cap is 65%. So your gross, you know, your total debt load, house payment, credit cards, auto loans cannot exceed 65%. We won't close a loan greater than that. So that's one thing that I tout all the time, because a lot of lenders don't go up that high. We also gross up any non-taxable income like housing allowance, utility allowance, VA disability income. So if I need to gross it up, I can, and that factor is like 25%. So if you're getting $4,000 housing allowance, I can gross it up another $1,000. So in essence, you're making $1,000 more on paper.
Well, this is great because at least with this show, we're getting the word out to all the vets out there here on Guam that they can get a loan up to 1.2 million. If they've bought a home before using a VA loan, they still have an opportunity to buy another home, provided, of course, their income source and their credit scores are in alignment as part of the requirement. Again, it's great news for our vets here on Guam.
1.2 million is a really, really nice house. That's one of those Tasi 17 condos, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great view too. And in lieu, and to anyone who may have served, and as Frank just broke down, with his expertise, if you are active duty, National Guard, Reserve, the world's a crazy time right now, but we thank each and every one of you from your service. That's from the heart, from all of us as civilians and everything. We appreciate you guys and we love you guys.
Yeah. So
Frank, thank you
ahead,
for
Frank.
your
Hey, thanks for having me. And if any listeners or watchers out there need me or want to reach out to me, all my credentials are on GuamVALender.com.
Or you can just go up to GFA because he's there watching his kids play soccer, or go check him out when he's fishing.
Well, there, yes, for sure.
All right. Hey, Frank, man, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Half a day, I'm Claire Calvo bringing you your weekly renewal. Today I am here at SDA Clinic's new Women's Health Department or Division, and I'm joined by Dr. Vanessa Miller, nurse practitioner Vicki Valares, and midwife Miss Jessica Gowley. Half a day, ladies. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us here. I know you have busy schedules, so I really do appreciate your time. Just last week, we had an event at Synergy with Guam's Women's Chamber, and we focused on everything from postpartum to post-menopause. And over the past few years, it's really been a huge topic, especially the perimenopause, menopause. And going through it myself, I was very interested to hear some of the other women speak on their symptoms. So first, if we could start with what are some of, because when we think of menopause, a lot of people don't even know what perimenopause is, but all we hear is hot flashes, mood swings and hot flashes. But can you just give us an idea of what are some of the more misunderstood symptoms that women go through?
Well, one of the things that we've noticed is that when you go through the perimenopause, menopause transition, your periods change. Some people have fewer periods, some people have lighter periods. But if you're having any type of abnormal bleeding around menopause, or even if you start having bleeding after menopause, which is something that we see quite frequently here in Guam, we want you to go and talk to your doctor and be evaluated, because it could be menopause, but it could be other problems.
Right.
And we're seeing a lot, unfortunately, a lot of endometrial hyperplasia, endometrial cancer from abnormal bleeding. And so I want to make sure that people know that, yes, it could just be menopause, but don't ignore it.
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor and see. So that's one of the highly misunderstood symptoms.
So that's the confusing thing. So as you're going through perimenopause, which is basically that period before that day of menopause where it stops, right? I read and I heard, and that's the other thing, there's so much information, misinformation, disinformation on the internet. It's like, okay, I read that there's over 100 different symptoms. So how can we advocate for ourselves when we walk into, in a medical setting? Like, okay, am I losing, what's going on? Is this something more serious, or is this just my hormones fluctuating?
So
I think being aware of what the symptoms are as a first step, and there's lots of information available for people. And also, if you know that you are having a symptom that is one of the symptoms that's listed, then I would insist with your provider, I know this is a symptom of menopause. Can I be evaluated for this?
And I think another thing is also to get your routine gynecological check. And a lot of women don't do that. It's like a regular physical, but there's that women part. We have to do like an annual, the pap smears. We got to get our pelvic and breast exam. Yeah, and that should be yearly, the gyne. And that's where they come in with the questions. Oh, by the way, and they start mentioning the symptoms.
Right. Because that's part of your annual physical, right? It comes with it. So it's not like you're getting charged extra, right? Okay, so that leads me to another question around this whole perimenopause, menopause stage. Lately, there's a lot of talk about HRT. Bioidentical or not. Can you share a little bit about, because years ago it was kind of taboo to even talk about it. You don't even want to go and talk about hormone replacement therapy. So can we touch a little bit on that?
Yeah, some of the studies that have recently come out have confirmed that hormone replacement therapy is definitely something that is good, that is not something that is dangerous. It doesn't increase the risk of breast cancer like some of the older studies seem to imply. And so it's important that we talk to women about transdermal estrogen. The hormone replacement therapies come in different forms. If you're taking a patch, a hormone patch, an estrogen patch, and you still have a uterus, it is important that you are protecting your uterus with progesterone. If you have no uterus, then estrogen alone is okay. But people are sometimes on estrogen without having progesterone, and that increases your risk of uterine cancer. And so that is really important.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week for part 2 of the series.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase. But if it happens, cheap thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all cheap things. Remembering without saying it, couldn't be more of a cheap thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Cheap things. Making a cheap vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a cheap thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a cheap thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a cheap thing. So we're bringing you more cheap things this year, because cheap things should be everyone's thing.
In this week's Health Check, Payless Community Foundation's Circle of Care program is rolling out a full schedule of free support and wellness services in April, including a new specialized group just for men with cancer. For many families facing cancer, support goes far beyond treatment. This April, Payless Community Foundation's Circle of Care Cancer Support and Psycho-Oncology Services is offering a wide range of free programs for cancer patients, survivors, and members of their support team, including family and friends. The monthly lineup includes a weekly online cancer support group held every Tuesday evening on Zoom, featuring group sharing and guest speakers throughout the month. In-person cancer support group and wellness services will also be held the first and third Saturdays of April at the Payless corporate office, with offerings like restorative yoga, art for healing, and oncology nutrition. Additional wellness activities include Tai Chi and Qigong classes every Wednesday in April, along with a water aerobics class set for April 11th at the Hilton Guam Resort and Spa. The program also offers individual and family psycho-oncology counseling and patient navigation services, giving participants access to professional guidance and emotional support throughout their cancer journey. And new this month, Circle of Care is launching a new specialized support group for men with cancer. The new group will provide a safe space for men to connect with others who share similar experiences, while also offering patient navigation, rehabilitation, and individual and family counseling. The men's group will meet in person on Saturday, April 4th from noon to 1 p.m. at the Payless corporate office in Hagåtña, All services are free of charge. For registration or more information, participants can contact Marie Benito or Dr. Ian Twaddle. Circle of Care says its services are funded through a grant from the Guam Cancer Trust Fund.
Okay, everyone, we conclude another episode of Health, Home, and Lifestyle, and we always invite you to check out our past archive. And if you missed anything from this week's episode, check us out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KUAM News. Once again, here from Laddie Heights in Mingilao, coming to you on location. I'm Jason Salas saying, live healthy, Guam, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.